Hello everyone, my name is UltimoFive, and today we are going over the Prisma Dual Cleavers, the Butcher Special. The Prisma Dual Cleavers is the Prisma version of the Dual Cleavers and is obtained by buying the weapon from Baron Kitir when he has it in stock for 200,000 credits and 490 ducats, or it can be traded from a player who has it at rank 0 with no Forma or Arcane Catalyst installed. Requires a mastery rank of 9. Comes with 1V polarity slot plus a dash stand slot, and because of this the builds on this weapon will require 3 Forma. And it excels in medium to large crowd slaughter but can severely suffer in high leveled missions if it isn't stacked. The Prisma Dual Cleavers has a couple of buffs when compared to the original Dual Cleavers in different areas. These stats would be higher status chance, higher attack speed, and the only nerf this weapon received compared to its original is its lower base damage. Advantages for the weapon would be that it has high slash damage, very high critical chance, extremely high critical multiplier, and a very high status chance. Disadvantages, however, for the weapon would be that it has a low range and low impact and puncture damage. The element for the Prisma Dual Cleavers against the Corpus would be Toxin. Toxin deals 50% base damage per second over 6 seconds and stacks indefinitely with each instance having its own timer. The build's flex slot is Gladiator Might and works better than just going straight slash. Because this weapon has a high slash ratio, it is better to have an increased chance of Toxin procs with the use of primed Fever Strike. The Toxin helps eat through shields, so going straight slash isn't fully necessary against the Corpus, especially since it can't bypass shields. The element for the Prisma Dual Cleavers against the Corruptor and Grineer will be Slash. Slash's status effect is Bleed, and after 1 second, it deals 35% of the base damage per second for 6 seconds, which bypasses armor. The build's flex slot is Gladiator Might and works great at near maximum stacks. Essentially, the higher the combo count multiplier, the better this weapon will perform, and the better it will bleed off all Corruptor and Grineer enemies. Other than that, there isn't much to say, other than Viral isn't really necessary for once. The elements for the Prisma Dual Cleavers against the Infested will be Heat and Slash. Heat deals 50% base damage per second over 6 seconds while stripping up to 50% armor and causes targets to panic. The build's flex slot is Gladiator Might and works just as well as the Corrupting Grineer build, except with the twist of having heat damage. Heat ends up working better than pure Slash due to not only increasing DPS, but bleed procs don't seem to do so well with the Prisma Dual Cleavers against the Infested faction. Reach, Smite Grineer, and Fever Strike in place of their primed counterparts if you don't have them. Amalgam Organ Shatter in place of Organ Shatter if you like using heavy attacks and don't mind the 5% critical damage loss. And Gladiator Rush or Drifting Contact in place of Gladiator Might if you don't have Narumon Focus or can't handle the combo chain duration. There are several ways to enhance critical stats and damage for this weapon. For instance, for damage, Rhino's Roar, Nova's Molecular Prime, which makes all sources of damage increase by 100% against primed enemies, Saren's Toxic Lash mixed with their Spores abilities, Mirage's Eclipse mixed with their Hall Mirrors adds a massive damage bonus during the day or in light, Banshee's Sonar, which gives a huge damage multiplier, Equinox's Rest and Rage in day form makes targets more vulnerable to damage, Valkyrie's Warcry, which bolsters attack speed in turn increasing DPS, and Vol's Speed, which bolsters attack speed in turn increasing DPS as well. For critical stats, Harl's Covenant can add up to 50% critical chance and 200% on headshots. Theodar's Kavat with Cat's Eye can give a 60% critical chance boost, and Smita Kavat with Charm can give a 200% crit chance. Arcane Fury. Upon critical hit, 60% chance for 180% melee damage to melee weapons for 18 seconds. Arcane Strike. On hit, 15% chance for 60% attack speed to melee weapons for 18 seconds. And Arcane Blade Charger. Upon primary weapon kill, 30% chance for 300% melee damage for 12 seconds. When you get your hands on a Riven for this weapon, the flex slot to replace will be situational. In order to maximize damage output with the Prisma Dual Cleavers, one will need to get lucky and get some nice stats. These ideal stats would be critical damage, attack speed, melee damage, and negative finisher damage. And with these stats, the flex slot to replace will be Gladiator Might and will cost 1 more Forma in order to have. The next best stats would be critical damage, melee damage, range, and negative finisher damage. And with these stats, the flex slot to replace would be primed reach and will cost only 1 more Forma to have. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more guides on Warframe, please click the like and sub buttons to let me know. And as per usual, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.